Welcome back to the Bit of Everything podcast with me, Farron, aka Fazzle Dazzle, aka Fizzy Fazzy Foo Foo. Let's address the cat in the room. I'm recording this in my daughter's bedroom because she has the desk and chair and I can't be asked to go out in the car. Now that's out of the way. Let's talk about some new things. There's a few new things that have happened. Obviously, this will be the first solo podcast I've done for YouTube and in this format, so sick. New things, I've got new equipment. I've got some Rode wireless mics. I've got an Ouch One smart gimbal with tripod and lights and all that shit. And I got my hustle pass so I can go to different gyms and that and create more content around different fitness stuff. The microphones, so good. These mics, absolutely awesome. Magnetic, so I could just magnetise it. Or if you don't want to do that, it's got a clip, so you can clip it. So it's just so much better, so much clearer. I'm guessing the battery probably lasts longer than the other ones, but I hadn't had a chance to really test it. I'm sure it's going to come because hopefully I've got some new guests. I've got some good guests coming up, hopefully. I've been talking to somebody who makes chocolate for a living, which when she told me the gym, now that's what she does, and that's her full-time job and gets her a decent income, I instantly knew that I wanted to talk to her and dive down that rabbit hole and see what that journey was like, because you couldn't tell me as a young person, teenagers, mid-teens, maybe late teens, that just everyday people can quit the job they had because they've made chocolate and become successful with it. You just think Cadbury's and all that and Belgian chocolatiers. You just don't. It's just so random. So hopefully I'm trying to pattern that. I've got another guy who is an independent gym owner called Madhouse, a guy called Keenan. He said he'd be up to being on a podcast and I can talk to him about his experience as a business owner, experience, I believe, as a bodybuilder. He's got a great physique. I'm going to talk to him about all that, so that should be good. And hopefully some other people, as I'm just networking and talking to people, I've found that when people see me in gyms with a tripod and mics and all that, it starts a conversation, and I've met some pretty interesting people doing that. Not everyone wants to be on a podcast, so I can't force it on them. But I've met some interesting people. There's one guy who's an archer who does championships and tournaments and all that stuff. I believe he said he's also a coach and coaches younger people to do that, which is good. There's a guy I was talking to. He works on pylons, the electricity pylons for National Grid, and again, it's just a job you just don't think of when you think, oh, what job do I want? So he spoke about like his job and the pay and what it means, how many days he does, and what his actual role is, how you get into it, how you progress. So it was interesting. And obviously, I'm still like just asking people who I know have got interesting jobs and hobbies on Facebook and stuff like that. But again, I can't force it on them, and trying to line it up without a studio or a proper place to do it is a bit awkward. We're just starting. We'll get there. So that's hopefully going to be fun and entertaining for you to watch. There were some, if you watch me on TikTok and my TikTok page, I'm still doing video game clips and stuff. There is long form, but I'm saving that. The latest one that I did were Batman Arkham City. Sick game. Batman Arkham City is such a good game, but I played it not when it came out, but earlier when it came out, and it seemed massive. But now that I'm playing it again, the physical map of Arkham City doesn't feel as big, but then I realised that there's a lot of interior places that you can go, and that makes it feel a lot bigger than it actually is. So I'm blasting through that. Still playing Borderlands 2, still playing Burnout. I'm also playing Tales from the Borderlands in my free time. I'm not capturing that, I'm just enjoying playing through it. which is good. This will be the first Telltale games I've played. Telltale games game that I've played. Obviously, I know Telltale are great developers for story-based games. Obviously, there's the Batman games, the Wolf Among Us, Walking Dead Season 1, Game of Thrones, all that. And I'm enjoying it. The last like story-based game I think I played were What Remains of Edith Finch, which if you've played it, you know it's an amazing game, emotional roller coaster. But I'm trying to play Tales from Borderlands like I'm Handsome Jack, you know, really selfish and almost cruel and blunt and focused on the objective that the character actually has. And it's going well. I've died a few times already because I'm fucking pro at video games. But I'm enjoying that. I like that. It's a good game. Borderlands 2, obviously if you played it, you know it's a good game. The first time I played it, I couldn't really get into it. It felt like it was primarily meant to be played in co-op, and as someone who was playing it in single player, I was just coming up against too much resistance. I would find it too difficult. I was dying against what felt like average groups of enemies. But I'm not experienced that really now. So I've obviously got better at video games, or I'm just doing something different. But I'm in parts of it, and I don't recognise it from the last time I played it. I remember the first time I played it, I was in an area with loads of skags, and I haven't found that area yet, so we'll see. Also, reading again. I'm doing a lot of reading. I'm reading this, Flawless by Elise Silver. It's not a book I would choose to like buy and read, but the wife has read it, and obviously she's done with it now. She's on to other things, so I thought, right, I'll take that off you, and I'll read that in bed before we go to sleep. I'm going to say it's funny because I'm not its target demographic. You know, this is a book that's probably written by a woman to what she thinks women would want, and it says it in the acknowledgements and stuff. It's about he's not a failing cowboy bull rider. He's just at a point in his career where his career should be slowing down, but he didn't. He's still competing in championships and stuff like that, but he's not very good for PR. He's had a bit of a PR nightmare. He assaulted somebody, it was on camera, and his agent's daughter is assigned to essentially babysit him. But the daughter is like 25, she's fairly attractive. This guy, I think, is in his late 30s. He's really attractive, and he's known to be promiscuous. Eehow! So his agent tells him and the daughter, don't bang. Don't fuck this professional relationship up by banging. And I think, well, how many chapters am I into it? I'm on page 73. It's alright. It's not my type of book that I'd go out and read, but it's something to read when I'm waiting to buy new books, because the books that I have been reading I've finished. I read Mortal Engines and Predator's Gold. I watched Mortal Engines on Netflix with Jordan, might be on Amazon Prime. We watched it, and as soon as it said this is based on a book, I just said I'm going to read this book, because I watched the film and I just knew that the book would have been better. So I picked up the books, and they are so much better. And what I found now, like the people who've read The Walking Dead, read Game of Thrones, read Harry Potter, things that have then turned into programs and film, TV and cinema takes on weird creative changes to the source material, because Hester Shaw in the book is like fuck ugly. Apparently she's got one eye, she's got a big ass scar down her face, one off her face base that don't work. But in the film, she's not attractive. She's basically an attractive person that has a scar rather than a disfigured person. And yeah, there's some changes in the book to the film. In the film, Valentine's daughter, the main antagonist of the Mortal Engines book. So yeah, Valentine's daughter in the film, I think does she end up with Tom? Or it's like portrayed that she's going to end up with Tom, but in the book she ends up with an engineer or a slave, someone that traditionally she wouldn't end up with. And how certain characters die in the book is different to the film. And yeah, the film was okay, the book is so much better. So I've read Mortal Engines and I've read Predator's Gold. I also read The Batman Who Laughs. Now it's a big series because there's Dark Knight's Metal and blah blah blah. I can't remember which one it is exactly. It's the one where the Batman Who Laughs and another like quote unquote bad variant of Batman come through to his universe, and they're trying to harness dark metal energy, I think, something like that. But I read through that and that was good. And that was the first comic I've bought and read. And I enjoyed it, and I probably will read more comics. I've got Spawn in my wish list, so I'll read that. I like the film, even though it's shit and cheesy. Again, knowing it's based on a comic, I reckon the comic's going to be awesome. What else is new? I bought a car. So, at the minute, the vehicle I have is on the Motability scheme. When I joined the scheme, like 5 years ago now, it seemed great. 6,000 miles, servicing, all them benefits, just put fuel in it. Have at it, it's all good. Now, in 2026, they've announced that there's sweeping changes across the entire scheme. The mileage you get, the mileage allowance, straight halves. You used to get 60,000 miles, now you get 30,000 miles for the duration of your lease, which basically equated to like 20,000 miles a year. Black boxes are going to be fit to all vehicles, and loads more vehicles have been taken off the scheme. No Audis, no BMWs, no Mercedes anymore. It's just, I don't know, it feels like the people who've been on it are now being punished or disadvantaged because, well, it's because of money. It's obviously because of money. The Motability scheme said it's because the government are changing something to do with tax. So basically, the government's not getting as much money from Motability, so they've had to make changes to Motability. Now, to me, the amount of people who are going to come off Motability is probably going to hurt its bottom line overall. Some of these changes are to, what's the word I'm looking for? Basically to stop people using the Motability scheme incorrectly. So, making a claim and getting the scheme for someone who doesn't actually need a Motability vehicle, like they might have their own car anyway, or they just don't need it, you know what I mean? But yeah, I'd say there is a lot of people doing that. But again, the people who aren't doing it and do need it are going to be at the biggest disadvantage, because the people who are doing that are just going to find another way around it. They're just going to find another type of lease, or do what I hear a lot of people can still do, even with cars that log the miles digitally. They'll just rewind the clocks. They'll just say, oh, it's at 10,000 miles, let's take 5,000 off it, I feel it's going to be more of a problem for Motability making these changes than if not. But what do I know? I'm not a fucking massive conglomerate like that. Well, not conglomerate, big company that has that type of money and has to know these type of things. But it affects me. Like 60,000 miles is just enough for the lifestyle I have. You know what I mean? I go see family members, go see Jordan's family members. I like to take the kids out as much as we can. So 30,000 miles is just not viable. So I bought a 2012 MG6, 64,000 miles on the clock. Everything looks fine. There's no hoses snap, suspension looks fine, brakes feel fine. They said there's some knocking on gearbox, but I'm not a mechanic, I don't know exactly. It felt fine when I had a little test drive. I think it's got slight modifications. I know it's got a sporty aftermarket exhaust and an aftermarket air intake. Now, from what I've seen, when you do that, it's like you're setting it up to get a stage 1 remap. But there's other bits, like a downpipe I think you can get, that sort of just completes the set for a stage 1. And I don't know if it's got one on, but I've booked it in to take it up to Ericstead at Sheffield, which is an MG dealership, to have a proper inspection, and hopefully they'll tell me if it has got the correct, a downpipe or whatever. But yeah, I'm had to buy a car because I'm not going to be able to. Mobility is just not viable for me anymore. So hopefully by the time my lease ends, I'll have enough money to pay the insurance for a year, tax. It's already got MOT. I'll probably still get another one by the time it's actually on road, and just do full service, oil fluid, brake fluid, power steering, all that shit. Probably new pads and discs just to be sure. And hopefully we're up and out. It's not got all tech that I'm now used to from having mobility vehicles, CarPlay, reverse camera, keyless entry and all that stuff. But I'm not fussed. I think the biggest thing I'm fussed about, it's only got 5 gears rather than 6. Even the last manual car I had, which was the Fiesta, had 6 gears. So it might not be as good on fuel, but take the good with the bad. And again, I only paid £900 for it, which, again, it runs and drives. I know it runs and drives. So £900 for a car that runs and drives, has less than 100,000 miles on it. I don't have any service history with it, but I'm just going to buy that. You know what I mean? You can buy it from certain places online, and I can find the MOT history notes. Seems major, but at the same time, I don't really trust MOT history because you can buy dodgy MOTs. So that's new, and I look forward to doing that because more content. I think I'll actually get hands-on, see if I can change the pads and discs myself. I don't think I'm going to do all the fluids because I don't have the pans that I'm going to need to get fluids out, and I know you need to make it a lot easier. There's certain tools you can get, but there is certain tools I'm going to get, like an OBD scanner, tyre pressure compressor that has the tyre pressure gauge on it, maybe some jacks and stands, so I can do work myself. And then just little accessories, you can buy not second-hand, but aftermarket CarPlay attachments. So with that on, it's got AUX support, USB, the just average USB support, and micro SD support, and it does have a sat nav, 2011 sat nav. You can imagine how fucking rudimentary that is, but it's all done on a single dial. It'd take, if you had to do a fucking address like Fitzwilliam Road, it'd take 2 weeks just to write Fitzwilliam. So yeah, and just little other stuff. Seat covers, new mats, because it's not got no floor mats in it. Gear lever knob, change that. And just little bits and bats to make it personal, because with Motability, they don't like, you sure can't actually modify it mechanically. I asked when I got a Motability vehicle, can I change the wheels on it? And they said I weren't allowed to do that. So the fact that I can now have a car that I can put my hands on and modify and get to know, I'm excited. But I need to save. I need to wait until it goes through this inspection, see what I need to do mechanically to make sure it runs sound. Because the last time I had a car, it were a fucking money pit, and I can't be having that happen again. So I'm hopefully going to take preventative measures now to get the longevity out of it, and hopefully we're happy days. So that's about it. That's about it with me. Done some gaming stuff, some fitness stuff. Oh yeah, I also got a new laptop. My sister got me MacBook Neo because I was just having problems with her MacBook Pro that she gave me. It just weren't able to update to the recent enough software for me to edit and do things correctly on it. So my sister ordered me a MacBook Neo from Curry's. I'm loving that because it means I can edit correctly, upload properly, and it just brings me up to date. Like I say, I got all new equipment now. I've invested in this. And then I was writing about it the other day, and I seen kids on the street that were doing a sale. They had a table and things on. So I pulled up, I had a look around. Were very tempted to buy the big ass Nerf guns doing up sale, but they had a wireless mouse, and that is one thing that, as much as laptops are good, I like a physical mouse. Bought that, £5. Give them a £5 tip, because kids trying to make their own money is what this country needs, and supporting that is paramount for young people to have some ambition and understand, business and sales and all that business. So I did my bit, and boom, 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 got a wireless mouse. It works pretty much fine. It doesn't connect directly to the laptop. You've got to have there's a USB receiver that you put in, but it all works. And I can use it on any surface, settee, arm, the little fold-out tables we've got. And it's awesome. It's pretty awesome. So yeah, I've got everything that I need now to really put in for this and to give it a good go. If it don't work, it don't work. At least my daughters can say, my dad tried something, he tried to make something of himself. Because Lord knows I'm not physically building now. I'm not a labourer like that. But this content business, we can give it a go. So that's everything, just a bit of an update. Bit of something, well, again, I'm trying to line up other podcasts. Yeah, I hope to the people that do watch and do follow and support, I've got mad love for you. I want you to live life to the fullest. Even if it's small things, you went for a walk today when you won, you went for a run, you've spent time with your loved ones rather than, sitting on your phone separate, just living life as it should be lived. Try new things and chasing them dreams, as we say, be it you want to be a hairdresser, engineer, architect, designer, software designer, just, I want you to go for it. And especially to the young people, I want the young people to really fucking go for it, because I wish I did it when I was younger. I sort of did, it didn't work out. Rather try and fail at many things than never try anything and never get nowhere. And that's what a lot of people that I'm speaking to, like entrepreneurs and independent business owners, are saying to me. You've got to actually go for it. You've got to try. You've got to take them steps. So thanks for watching. This has been a Bit of Everything podcast with me, Farron, aka Fazzle Dazzle, aka Fizzy Fazzy Foo Foo. Enough respect. Try new things.